God works in mysterious ways, guys. Those of you who are going to see this video, and I'll just say that you never know how the Lord is going to use people in your life in the body of Christ. And I cannot tell you what kind of a blessing Pastor Eric Brewer, and in particular, since we're talking about it, this ministry has been to me. Um, I've known Pastor Eric since he was a teenager and have always appreciated him and his presence in my life and even in the life of my late spouse. For a 5-year period, my wife was the principal of the Cathedral Preparatory Academy. And during that time, Pastor Eric was the youth pastor at Cathedral International, and he came and ministered to the kids in the school there at Cathedral Prep on a weekly basis. And Eric's always been a blessing. I've always loved him and appreciated him and admired his life. And who knew that the kid that I met, who was just, I think just fresh out of college, maybe just a few years beyond that, my wife and I just used to look at him as almost like a very dear little brother almost. And now here it is. Um, Katrina and I, my wife, we were married for 26 wonderful years. We raised 3 awesome children together. The lessons that I've learned from her, the way that I'm so much better, a better man today than I was then, to the better man that I am now than I was when she met me, the ways that we were able to bless each other. Um, as a part of telling you how Pastor Eric has blessed us, I'll just share real quickly. Katrina and I were both single parents at our church. We were raising our children, and we kind of did a Brady Bunch. She had her son from her first marriage. I had my oldest daughter from a previous relationship in college, and I had managed to be in her life and a part of her life throughout the years. And so at the age of 14 for her, and at the age of 10 for Brandon, my stepson, we got married, and then we had one child together a year later. My youngest daughter, Candace, who is living with me now. And so we had 26 wonderful years. We raised our children together. We put our kids through college together. They all have their bachelor's degrees, their master's degrees. Pastor Eric, just to piggyback on what you were sharing earlier about the travel thing, we spent our honeymoon in Madrid, Spain. And so we did the whole thing, and I won't digress too much from what you asked me to do here. But guys, you can probably tell I'm a little long-winded, so I'm trying to I'm trying to cut it short and stay on topic. But I will say this: the widowers ministry has been a blessing to me in ways that I could have never predicted. Katrina went home to be with the Lord in February of this year, 2022, and it caught us quite by surprise. She, in the middle of the pandemic, was starting to show signs that something wasn't quite right, and through much coaxing and even fighting, she was so determined to protect us and keep us safe from the pandemic. I can't take the vaccines or a lot of the things that other people are able to do. I'm not able to do because I have a pre-existing health conditions, and my wife was looking out for me and my youngest daughter, who had just was in the middle of finishing up grad school. So she just finished her master's degree last summer in May, and then in July, my wife took ill in a battle with endometrial cancer, and she went home to be with the Lord this past February. And we were, of course, devastated. But this ministry that Pastor Brewer has it has encouraged me. It has sustained me. I have a group of brothers, fellowship. We're almost like a fraternity, and the deacons and ministers and men of God, brothers who are a part of this group, have been a blessing to me that I just can't explain. I don't know why anyone who had the opportunity to be a part of a group like this would not participate. Pastor Eric had a fresh word and has a fresh word for us every time we meet. Um, Things to help us and train us and direct us and guide us. He does research. He puts together his ministry to us as he would preparing for his flock on a Sunday morning. And we are blessed for it. He's someone who has walked this road with us as a widower. And he's also like for me anyway, he's like my poster boy hero, because he got remarried and he's going on with his life, and I know his wife, and I'm totally team Tiffany, by the way, Pastor Eric, just so you know. But anyway, Pastor Eric has been an inspiration, a blessing, a leader, and he cares so much for each of us individually as well as corporately. He could not show more love for us if he was our pastor. So we thank you, Pastor Eric. We thank you so much for everything that you've done for us, and we feel almost like your second church. And you know, if you need any of us to do anything at any time, all you have to do is say the word. We got you, bruh.